Hey everybody! We are on the Qur'an, we're on Anam, and we're starting on verse 147. If they accuse thee of falsehood, say, Your Lord is full of mercy, all embracing, but from people in guilt never will his wrath be turned back. Those who give partners to Allah will say, If Allah had wished, we should not have given partners to him. Nor would our fathers, nor should we have had any taboos. So did their ancestors argue falsely until they tasted of our wrath. Say, Have ye any certain knowledge? If so, produce it before us. Ye follow nothing but conjecture. Ye do nothing but lie. Say, With Allah is the argument that reaches home. If it had been his will, he could indeed have guided you all. Say, Bring forward your witnesses to prove that Allah did forbid so and so. If they did bring such witnesses, but not thou amongst them, nor follow thou the vain desires of such as treat our signs as falsehoods, and such as believe not in the hereafter, for they hold others as equal with their guardian Lord. Say, Come, I will rehearse what Allah hath really prohibited you from join not anything as equal with him. Be good to your parents. Kill not your children on a plea of want. We provide sustenance for you and them. Come not nigh to shameful deeds. Whether open or secret, take not life, which Allah hath made sacred, except by way of justice and law. Okay, right there. It's a big one right there. Allah hath made sacred. So don't kill, don't take away a life that is sacred. What is sacred? Kids. Someone who is, who would be qualified as sacred? Let's say a holy person that you hope beyond a reasonable doubt is not corrupt. I think they could be considered sacred. I'm not exactly sure. Except by way of justice. So has to be for a just cause and law. So within the legal parameters. Thus doth he command you that ye may learn wisdom. Okay, we're gonna learn, I bet, what's sacred. Does it mean sacred like only Islamic forms of what is sacred? I think so, it's in the Quran. Or does it also mean like let's just say what would be a good example? A really good award-winning heart surgeon? They're not technically sacred, however, they do a lot of good things. So I wonder. That's so weird that I can't really name that many things that I think sacred. Some things, what do you think some things mean like sacred? What do you think? Okay, like if I see a mother dog and her pups, I'm not gonna kill her, I think that's sacred. If I see, well, basically animals, like I don't want to hurt them just to hurt them, but if it's a female animal with her little ones, I consider that like you need to be nice to them and treat them well. I really wonder what they mean. It's weird. It kind of makes me feel sad that I can't really name too many things I find sacred in like my culture. It's pretty bizarre. And come nigh to the orphan's property except to improve it. Exactly. So the only way you need to come near an orphan's property is if you're trying to make it better. Until he attain the age of full strength, give measure and weight with full justice. No burden do we place on any soul, but that which it can bear. So I'm not going to give you more than you can handle. Whenever ye speak, speak justly, even if a near relative is concerned. It's hard to speak justly sometimes. I gotta work on that. And fulfill the covenant of Allah. Thus doth he command you that ye may remember. Verily this is my way leading straight. Follow it, follow not others' paths, they will scatter you about from his great path. Thus doth he command you, that ye may be righteous. Moreover, we gave Moses the book, completing our favor to those who do right, and explaining all things in detail, and a guide and a mercy, that they might believe in the meeting with their Lord. And this is a book which we have revealed as a blessing. So follow it and be righteous, that ye may receive mercy. Lest ye should say, the book was sent down to two peoples before us, and for our part we remain unacquainted with all that they learned by assiduous study. Or lest ye should say, if the book had only been sent down to us, we should have followed its guidance better than they. Now then, hath come unto you a clear sign from your Lord, and guide and a mercy. Then who could do more wrong than one, who rejecteth Allah's signs, and turneth away therefrom? In good time In good time shall we requite those who turn away from our signs with dreadful penalty for their turning away. Annotating is very important. And they waiting to see if the angels come to them, or the Lord himself, or certain of the signs of thy Lord. The day that certain of the signs of thy Lord do come, no good will it do to a soul to believe in them then. If it believed not before, nor earned righteousness through it faith, say, wait ye, we too are waiting. As for those who divide their religion and break up into sects, thou hast no part in them in the least. Their affair is with Allah. He will in the end tell them the truth of all that they did. So like breaking up. Wait a minute. Sects. So isn't there two sects of Islam? What is that? Shia and a Sunni. I hear those names a lot in political discourse, because I believe they war against each other. Is that two sects? Sects? Or is it two branches? I have a lot to learn, but I know y'all will tell me. He that doeth good shall have 10 times as much to do his credit. He that doeth evil shall only be recompensed according to his evil. No wrong shall be done unto any of them. Say, verily my Lord hath guided me to a way that is straight, a religion of right, the path trod by Abraham, then the true faith, and he certainly joined not gods with Allah. Say truly, my prayer and my service of sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, the cherisher of the worlds. No partner hath he. This am I commanded, and I am the first of those who bow to his will. Say, shall I seek for my cherisher other than Allah, when he is the cherisher of all things that exist? Every soul draws the meed of its acts on none but itself. No bearer of burdens can bear the burden of another. Your goal in the end is towards Allah. Interesting. No bearer of burdens can bear the burden of another. Let me think. So if I'm burdened, I cannot take on the burden of another person. And that shouldn't be my goal. And my goal is to try to get back connected with the Creator. Interesting. He will tell you the truth of the things wherein ye disputed. If is he who hath made you his agents, inheritors of the earth. He hath raised you in ranks, some above others, that he may try you in the gifts he hath given you. That's the testing thing. So, okay, look. He raised different people in different ranks, right? Within different socioeconomic placements. Some above others, so in hierarchy. That he may try you in the gifts. So he's going to test you in the blessings that he's given you. Okay, so what just literally popped in my head, and you guys probably get tired of me saying this, but for example, if you're really nice looking aesthetically and you use your looks to cause harm to others, like, because beauty is like a gift, it's wrong, right? Or another example, if you're a mathematician and you use your gifts to put in a backdoor into a computer that allows your government access to the files within that computer, you've used your gifts for something evil. Or we could go further. Somebody who's super smart, they help create an AI that is semi-independent and has some military coding in it, and if there it causes some problems with humans in the future, right? So using your intelligence to create and manifest evil things, I think that's a good example. What could be another good? Oppenheimer, the dude who created the atomic bomb. Yeah, he quoted the Bhagavad Gita, the "I am the destroyer of worlds. I have become like the destroyer of worlds." I forget the sign in the Bhagavad Gita. I have to find it in the book. But that man created a weapon. He used his intelligence to create a weapon that, number one, is super costly. Number two, can wipe out all life around it when it drops. 3, the radiation in the soil will ravage DNA of any critter on the earth for hundreds of years. So that's a good example, right? So when that dude, well, he's dead, but imagine his judgment being like, I made you really smart, and instead of doing something good, you then made a bomb and sold it to the government so that they could kill a bunch of people. That's sad. For thy Lord is quick in punishment. That dude is probably, I don't even want to say. Yet he is indeed oft forgiving, most merciful. That's an interesting thing, right? Because that's unique if you really stop to think about it. That's like super unique to say, like, to try you in the gifts. Oh man, like, I don't, like, that is such a cool thing to think about. Like, if you're good at fighting, you should be using that to defend people or only using self-defense, right? But if you go around being a goat causing trouble, you're not using your skills in the best way, right? Man, that's so important. I like that verse. I think that's going to be one of my favorite ones. Because I like it when the whole way of thinking is in this is a test. For someone like me who focuses a lot on tests, right? This works for me. Because there's less like a, oh, why me type of feeling when you're told like, no. It's not personal. It's a test. And then you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in the classroom, all of you are taking tests. You're like, okay, if that person fails, or if I do good, or if I fail, it's not any one of us. We all have like a test that we gotta do, right? And some students have like test A, B, and C, so they can't cheat on the tests, right? So, but then if no one took a test and only you were taking the test, you'd be like, oh man, this is like, I feel like I'm being targeted. Why am I being tested and no one else? But when you read it, like, no. Everybody's getting tested with their gifts, with their abilities, with their skills. Dang, man, it changes the whole way you interpret the world, the way in which you filter the world. It's fantastic. I like that. For some reason, well, I already explained it. That's one of my favorite things. Oh, that helps so much. And I've been, what's interesting is because that's kind of repeated a little bit, right? And I'm sure we're going to see it more in the next sections. But one of my friends at work was just like, oh, I'm being attacked on all sides, he said. And I told him it just came out. I was like, that's just a test for paradise, man. You can do it. Just keep busting through it, man. You'll do all right. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just say? It's just because it's like you read it in the Quran and then it just comes out. And you're like, oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. All right, family.